Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Where are the others? So, yeah, so we will discuss this briefly. Mga less than an hour siguro. So here we will be discussing the key components of human resource development. So in terms of technology advancement. So titingnan natin kung what will happen sa human resource development or human resource pagdating ng 5th Industrial Revolution, wherein na ano nila yung in terms of jobs, no? So instead of humans, so mostly na hina-hire na nila or mostly na gumagawa na ng mga gawain, mga humans are machines now. So robotics, machine AI, and under 5th industrial technologies, no, nga mag-exist in the future. So what will happen to this human resource development? So what are ano yung mitigation nila to prevent these implications, and what will happen to this area? So how can we develop this in terms of recruiting humans, no? But of course, there's still some career or jobs that needs human intervention, because without these human interactions or interventions, those specific machines, no, are useless. Okay. So now let's check the components of the human resource development. So as you can see, we have 3 fundamental components. Okay, so these are the individual development, or this is based on personal. So it focuses on personal development, no? And then we have the career development. So this focus also this focus in professional development. And the last would be the organizational development. Yeah, so these 3 are the fundamental components of the human resource development. Okay, so all 3 have one focus. So we have the individual performance improvement, and this individual performance improvement is the heart of an HRD program. Okay, so mainly ito yung pinaka-objective when it comes sa human resource development. Okay, so dapat focus siya yung isang company pag nag-hire siya or nagre-recruit siya. So not only in recruiting, no, but it should also focus on the performance of each employee. Yan. So that's why there is an evaluation. Okay, so yearly yan siguro most of the company in-evaluate nila yung mga empleyado nila. Okay. And of course, not only through evaluation, but sa support man mismo through technical seminars, webinars, and so on, na makapag-improve sa isa ka empleyado. So these are the roles of the human resource in order to develop an individual. So HRD, or human resource development, can be described as the area of congruence. So that's why nasa center siya, no, this triangle. So among the three components. Yan. So development of new knowledge. So this, when you say individual development, so this refers to the development of new knowledge. So it might be an new knowledge for you, or base, let's say you attended some seminars, and you encounter the same topic. So hindi siya new knowledge, but of course it can, you might pick up some new knowledge from that kind of seminar or webinar or technical seminars. Yeah. And skills or improved behaviors that result in performance enhancement and improvement related to one's current job. O yan, training. Tinatawag natin training. So may mga technical trainings yan, mostly na ino-offer yung company. Not only to benefit them, but also to improve the performance and to develop the career professionally of their employee. So learning may involve formal programs, but is most often accomplished through informal or what we call the on-the-job training activities. So later on, siguro next year, before kayo mag-4th year, so you will experience this one, the on-the-job training activities, wherein meron kayong hands-on technical knowledge, but of course with supervision of your superior. So when you say career development naman, so this identify the individual interests, values, competencies, activities, and assignments needed to develop skills for future jobs. Okay, so that is for the career development. So pag feeling mo na stagnant ka na sa career mo later on, let's say every day the same process yung ginagawa mo, typing, program. So walang development, walang bago. So sometimes stagnant ka na sa mga So you have no choice, unless gusto mo yung pabalik-balik na lang. So wala kang career growth, yung tinatawag nila. Yan, that's for the career development. So both individual and organizational activities. So this includes career planning, career awareness, and utilizing career resource centers. Okay, so importante yan sa bawat company or organization. Sometimes they have what we call the team building or recreational activities. And so not only to develop camaraderie sa ibang ko-employee nila, but also to develop teamwork, Yan. So organizational activities include job posting systems, mentoring systems, career resource center development and maintenance, using managers as career counselors, providing career development workshops and seminars, human resource planning, performance appraisal, and career pathing programs. Yeah, so these are some of the activities now, both individual and organizational. So for the organizational development, so this developing new and creative organization solutions to performance problems. So this is now based evaluation. Okay, so these are now based on the evaluation na nakuha ng HR nila. So ito bang employee na to is still works within his role? Yun pa rin ba yung ginagawa niya? So may improvement ba sa kanya? Or may pinagkulang ba yung company sa kanya? Or paano ba natin siya matutulungan para ma-develop yung professional career niya or individual career niya or personal growth niya as an employee? So now that belongs to the organizational development, because not as an employer, no? So you're not looking into each employee, but as a whole employee. And so enhancing congruence among the organization's structure, culture, processes. So this as a whole ni siya, and strategies within the human resource domain. So closer working relationship among these elements. And organizations' self-renewing capacity. So these organizations' ability to regenerate itself over and over again. So sometimes repetitive na ni siya. But you have no choice, no? You need to regenerate over and over again just to maintain the organization. Okay. So when you say, okay, so let's go to the components of the HRD. No? So each component will vary. So these are the types of organization. So depende anong organization ba yung pinasukan mo. Or let's say nag-start up ka ng business. So what kind of organization is that? Is it an IT company yung ini-startup mo? Is it an electronics company? So what kind of organization, what type of organization? And complexity of the operations. So let's say nasa IT industry yung IT organization, yung business mo, yung startup business mo. So gaano ba ka-komplikado yan? So what in order to develop the HRD, no, the human resource. So what roles, what jobs yung kailangan mo? Then the criticality of human resources to organization efficiency. So kung magre-recruit ba ako nito, sakto lang ba? So dapat efficient. Okay, efficient yung organization mo. The organization's commitment to improve human resources. Yan. So sa IT industry yung organization mo. Gaano ba ka-committed yung employee mo? Or as a boss, how are you committed to your employees? Yan. So resources. So a resource is any physical. You say resources. So it's any physical or virtual entity of limited availability that needs to be consumed to obtain a benefit from it. So it might be a person or it might be an equipment. So yung tinatawag nga nila, no, asset ng company yung empleyado. Okay? Magiging asset ka lang ng company pag syempre may skills ka. Ayan. So merong diyan, minsan hindi nila binibitawan ng hindi nila binibitawan yung employee nila because he's still part. So asset siya ng company because maybe pag nawala tong empleyado na to, baka bumagal yung operation nila. Yan. So hindi na efficient yung operation ng organization. Yan. So that's the resource. So you must be or you might be an asset sa isang company. So titingnan mo kung ano yung kailangan mong resources. Kailangan mo ba yung tao na may ganitong skills? Or kailangan ba ng employee mo yung high-tech na computer para lang magawa niya yung trabaho niya in efficient way? Yan. So in most cases, commercial or even non-commercial factors require resource allocation through resource management. Yan. So it's still under the management. So I'm not sure if you're already taking the engineering management course, but you will encounter that one on how to manage resources, how to manage your employee. And kasi hindi lang basta-basta na gastos ka dito, gastos ka diyan, gastos ka doon. And then, sino magbe-benefit nun? Eh baka wala ka nang kikitain. Diba? So unless may purpose siya, yung pagpapalabas mo ng budget ng pera mo as a boss, as a startup company, so why not taking a risk? Diba? Yun. It's either, di ba yun yung ano naman, that's the one of key component man when starting a business. Should be committed and you should take risk. Should not be afraid taking risk. So it's either do or nothing. So of course we have two types of resources. That is renewable and non-renewable. So resources have three main characteristics. So we have utility, quantity, or often in terms of availability, and we have consumption. So some do not accept this definition. So example, we have deep ecologists who believe that non-human elements are independent from human values. So meaning separate sila. Okay. So we have here natural resources. So when you say natural resources, so these are renewable resources and non-renewable resources. And these natural resources also includes conditionally renewable resources. And under this, we have also human resources. And we have the tangible or intangible resources. So human resources, ano ba yung human resources na tinatawag natin? So these are individuals who make up the workforce of an organization. Okay? So you cannot start a company without an employee. Pwede, ikaw lang mag-isa. Diba? But it's not an organization. Okay? Services and HR in sports. So let's say you are dealing with sports. So efficient organizational function requires necessary resources at its disposal. So meaning you should have a material resources in the form of capital. Okay? So in terms of sa sports, so ano yung mga capital mo? Ano yung investment mo dyan? Of course, you have facilities and equipment. Diba? So that includes human resources. Then organization gives attention to human resources as well. So these put materials into use, syempre, and these convert them into wealth or products through services. Naging gamit sa imong human resource. Yan. So what are these types of products? So production of services rather than goods. So this means that may be a client or a customer as input, as well as the output of the organization process. So we have also volunteers and paid staff that make the workforce. So this managing two different sets of workers is complex and difficult. Okay, so meron tayong mga volunteer and meron din tayong mga paid staff. So yung paid staff mo, ito yung mga regular employee mo. Okay, and yung volunteers naman, so this might be your mga OJT mo, diba? Mga volunteer. So it depends sa company kung naghahatag sila sang allowance sa ilang OJT or wala. Yan. So client and customer. What is the difference? When I say client, so this is somebody that use professional service. So let's say ako yung engineer. So sino yung kliyente ko? So syempre yung magpapagawa ng bahay or magpapagawa ng design. Yan. Yung customer naman, so this is a person or organization to whom goods or services are provided and sold. Okay, so magkaiba yung client tsaka yung customer. Okay. So we have here an example. So at Sport Liverpool, so we pride ourselves on our service standards based on the following principles. So let's say ito yung ito yung organization mo. So ano yung services na in-offer nila? So customer safety. So meron silang siguro meron silang nakahandang ambulance, so in case na merong may accident, may over fatigue due to sports. And value and satisfaction. So syempre, affordable siya, maybe affordable. And syempre mataas yung satisfaction nila, satisfaction rating. And of course, clean, well-maintained facilities and equipment. And meron din silang professionally qualified and highly trained staff. Yan. So kayo, if ever na you start up a business, so ano yung mga principles ninyo? Ano yung mga services na i-offer ninyo? So how can you guarantee your customer, your client? Yan. So when say service, so ito naman yung largest investment sa isang organization. Ito yung pino-provide mo sa kliyente mo. Okay? So these are the services that you offered sa iyong customer or sa iyong kliyente. So service is a intangible and perishable occurrences that is created and used simultaneously. Okay? So what kind of service? So example siguro yung internet cafe. So ano yung service na offer mo? So computer rental. Yun na yun. So intangible siya and perishable. Diba? Pag naubos na yung oras mo, so tapos na yung service nila. So pwede ka nang umalis. Yun yun. And we have the characteristics of services. Ano yung characteristics ng services? So, syempre, ability. So, this is physical activity. Tasted, touched, or stored. Usability. Held. Before. And only at their production. So, ano yung mga services ito? So, application. Matatakot mo. Hindi, di ba? Natitaste mo ba yon? Meron mo ba yon? So, wala. Nandyan lang siya sa cellphone mo. So, in terms of, ano na siya, then perishable. So, hindi din siya mas-stockpiled. Although, maipon mo siya virtually through your SIM card or through your account. No? So, simultaneously or simultaneity, inseparable. So, from their means of production and from the customer's experience of them. And requires that a consumer of a service interacts. So, sometimes physically with its producer to receive its benefit. Yeah. And heterogeneity, or what we call the variability. No? So these are the range of possible outcomes of a given situation. Okay, so these are the characteristics of services. So depende sa imong organization kung what kind of service yung meron ka. Yan. But it should include either of these characteristics. Ayan. So let's say preparing for the London Olympic Games. So this was 2012. So anong meron dito? So these are the suggestions no, for HR. So the International Olympic Committee's recent inspection of preparations for the 2012 Olympics was a timely reminder to employers. So particularly those in London of the need to start planning for workforce issues during the games. Ano ba yung meron during the Olympic Games? Ano ba yung meron? So ano bang kailangan ng isang organization? So first, syempre, Olympics rules and policies to ensure that everyone can enjoy this important national event without undue disruption to trade. Of course, dapat walang sagabal in terms of trading, and policies to be communicated to staff well in advance. So meron tayong naka-advance plan and set out clearly what is and is not acceptable behavior. So rules to be enforced consistently. So just like dito, di ba, sa pandemic, Ano yung suggestion mo? Let's say meron kang organization, then nagka-pandemic. So ano yung what are you going to do with your employees? What are you going to do with the organization? And so the Olympics here could be a cheap, if managed well, and easy way to boost staff morale and employee engagement. So syempre, it involves siguro security. Yan, security sa event, sa venue, sa event. Ano pa? So how can you manage that? And siguro kilala mo sa mga paramedics, in case may emergency. Yan. Yan. So what are the management processes for the human resource? So this, ano na to sa engineering management na to. So related na niya sa engineering management. But in terms of sa ano siya, as a whole, no? So it depends kung saan ka man ng organization. It might be engineering, it might be on education sector, or a public sector, or government sector. Ito yung mga processes. Yan. So first you have a planning. Okay? Then you have attracting, developing, and of course retaining. Yan. So sa planning, syempre ang mission, diba? So it includes the mission, the vision, and or goals ng iyong organization. Then attracting, so syempre depende sa company, no? How will you attract a professional para ma-hire mo siya? It might be compensations. Siguro may mga 13th month bonus, may mga 14th month bonus pagid, may mga yearly salary increase. Yan. So attracted yan, attracting. And in terms of developing naman, so siguro trainings, yan, technical trainings na maka-improve sa skills mo. And so of course this is covered by the employers, no? So covered mo dapat yan as an employer. So ikaw sila magasto. And retaining, ano yung mga retaining? And so ito siya. So it parts of a cycle lang. Okay, so it's parts of a cycle. Okay, so planning, ayan. So strategic human resource planning. So how many people organization wants? So type of people organization wants at present and future in terms of their expertise. How they fit. So how they fit the organizational culture. And of course, the demand and supply for future labor. And so this includes the job analysis, no? So when you say job analysis, in terms of human resource planning, so this is the process to understand and describe the duties and responsibilities of a position, as well as the knowledge, skills, and abilities that is required to do the job. So meron nga dito na quotation. Integrating human resource management strategies and systems to achieve the overall mission, strategies, and success for the organization while meeting the needs of the employees and other stakeholders. So not only that you will focus on your the missions, strategies, but also you should focus as a whole, as an organization. And so, ayan, attracting employees. So, ito yung sinasabi natin. So, recruiting. And then, also, once nga nakapag-recruit ka na, nag-job posting ka na, so then, you will have your interview process na, wherein you will select. Ayan. So, this recruitment process is the objective. So, it might be an interview. Okay. So the position. Okay. So this is human legislation. Yan. So dapat walang discrimination. Okay? Walang discrimination. So hindi pwedeng puti lang yung i-hire mo. Dapat kasama dyan yung mga maiitim. Yan. Then we have developing employees. So this includes orientation, of course. So ito yung first process nila. So kailangan mo munang i-orient yung employee mo, no? Then of course it includes the training and development. Okay, so training and development. So it might be an individual or professional. Then of course we have performance appraisal or what we call the evaluation. Okay. So kailangan mong i-evaluate yung empleyado mo para malaman mo kung may kulang pa sa isang organization or may kulang ba sa organization mo. Sa company mo na ginawa, meron bang kulang? Ano ba yung kailangan nating i-fix? Yan. And then, retaining employees. So, ito yung parang paano mo siya mapapanatili. Yan. So, let's say may jowa ka. So, paano mo siya mapapanatili sa'yo? Paano mo, anong gagawin mo para hindi kanya, para walang break up, para hindi kanya hihiwalayan? Ganyan din yun sa employee tsaka employer. So dapat meron kang compensation. So it might be a 13th month bonus, 14th month bonus, increased salary, health and safety. So dapat meron kang meron ka dapat na free annual check-up. Yan. Tapos meron ka pang what you call that one? Yung pag na-aksidente ka, may insurance. Yan. Then labor relations, of course. So termination and outplacement. Yan. Pag nag-retrench yung company mo, let's say bumagsak na yung kita ng company mo. So kailangan mo magbawas. So that's what you call retrenchment or restructuring of your organization. So kailangan mo mag-compensate. Compensate mo yung empleyado na sinibak mo na walang reason. Di ba? So, compensate mo siya. Yan. So, that's all with regards to the key components of human resource development. Yan. So, I hope meron kayong natutunan for this afternoon. More or less 30 minutes yung discussion natin. Konti lang naman. Okay? So, questions, clarifications, discussion. Stop sharing. Stop recording.